To now being the main guy in the quarterback's room?
It's been fun. Being quality control, you get hands-on with a lot of the offense, but you're asked to do a lot of things. So from that breaking down film to drawing pictures to just all the sort of different things, running scout team, and then now getting a chance to kind of be in charge of the position room and lead individual drills and whatnot at practice. That's fun. It's a fun change and something I've looked forward to and really enjoy right now.
Did you work with the quarterback before? Has it been more of a seamless transition?
I think so. Having a relationship with all those guys, even a relationship with Nick from the past when he was here the first time, I think that's made it a lot easier. I've been in the room, I've been through the conversations they've been through, and then the personal relationship really has kind of made it the easiest to move forward with these guys, knowing them from the past.
You've obviously spent a lot of time with them. How close are you to at least the three guys who were here last year?
Right. I feel really close. I feel like I know kind of what makes them tick, kind of going into it. And then we all had our own relationships. Obviously I wasn't their quarterback coach at the time, but I was in the room, like I said, sat through those conversations, had my own conversations with those guys out on the practice field. I feel like I know the things they like, the things they didn't like, and then was able to just kind of learn from the other guys in the room, the other coaches in the room, and then the quarterbacks as well. I've learned a lot from them.
So you've been around Carson, obviously, since the injury. How impressed are you when you see him out on the practice field with how quickly he's progressed?
Very impressed. I mean, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I have no clue really where he's supposed to be. So as we go forward, it just kind of, whatever they tell us he's allowed to do, he goes out and does, and looks great doing it. And then it's no surprise that Carson has worked his way back into being able to do what he's doing and just the timeline he's stuck with. I mean, he works his tail off and does a great job.
How would you describe your voice in the quarterback's room?
I see it kind of as a partnership. So I see it, again, I have a relationship with those guys from the past. So I think we're able to bounce ideas off one another. And then I like to think I'm a voice of reason with those guys, but at the same time, I'm kind of a vessel between them and maybe Coach Groh or Coach Peterson, and I can take their voice to those guys if they have something, or I can trickle down from what Coach wants and kind of echo his voice in that room.
Being behind John, it seemed like he was destined to take a step. Were you prepared? I mean, what point did you realize that this could be the next step for you?
It's always been a dream of mine. So I think I've always kind of tried to prepare myself for the next step. So that being obviously as a quality controller, assistant quarterbacks coach, being a quarterbacks coach. So I took a lot of notes from Coach Flip and really a lot of the guys that I was working under in the past. I've worked with a lot of great quarterback coaches here and offensive coordinators that had experience coaching quarterbacks. So I've just tried to be a sponge and soak up as much knowledge from those guys as I could.
What have you learned about Carson during his comeback and his rehab that maybe you didn't know before?
I'm not sure if it's anything I didn't know before. I mean, we knew the work ethic he has, the character he has, the mental toughness he has. So I think all that has just really come through, and the way he's approached this thing. And it's not an easy thing to go through, to actually sit on the sidelines, watch your team win a Super Bowl, a team that you got in that position. And, he was a great teammate throughout. Everything we've expected from him, from his character, his personality, has really just shown through.
Chris, you were given a lot of credit for the Philly special. Can you tell us about what the process was from bringing that in to seeing it happen in the Super Bowl?
That was fun. I think that's the benefit of being quality control, is I get a chance to watch a lot of tape. I'm watching a lot of just random tape throughout the year, trying to get ideas. You see a lot as you're breaking down defenses, and Coach Wright came through and wanted ideas from a lot of people. I kind of had a folder of ideas. It was one of the plays in there, and then I give credit to Coach Reich and everybody just for being open and creating a collaborative environment and seeking just the best ideas. We're not looking for what's us. We're looking for what works best for us, what we can do well, what puts our guys in position to succeed. And Coach Reich liked that idea, got it implemented, and then we just kind of massaged it throughout the process until it looked pretty good.
After mining that play, what was it like to see it in that game at that particular time?
It was awesome. I don't think I ever could have imagined it'd be a 4th and 2 call in the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody would have, and all the credit goes to really Nick and Coach Peterson for calling it at that time, and then the players for executing it the way they did. But I think me getting the credit for it is way overblown. I think that it kind of goes to just the environment that Coach Reich and Coach Peterson had created amongst our staff.
Now, did they initially tell you to find some gadget plays for them to look at?
So that's always something I've just noticed as I watch a ton of games throughout the year. I've always just kind of built a folder of these trick plays and sorted them different ways. And then Coach Reich at one point in the season said, "Hey, give me your 5 best ideas." and it was just one of many ideas that I'd shown him, or it's just something I'd seen in the past or somebody had run, and it just worked out really well for us.
That was the Chicago-Minnesota game.
Chicago, Minnesota, and then there's numerous examples through college where
Yeah.
they do it, and they do it. Everybody does it a little differently. We just happen to copy exactly the way that Chicago.
I'm
one
just
had
curious,
gone.
when you found it in that game, did you go back and find, because obviously a lot of people did research after the fact and went
Right.
back and found it Clemson and other places.
Right.
Did you know about it from before that Bears game? Or
So I've seen it a lot in college, and it was executed differently. But it a lot of times it was the quarterback under center, running a toss sweep, pitching different ways where there's different rules in the pros. So our quarterback in the pros can't catch a pass once he's aligned under center. So we have to do it different ways. So he had to be in the shotgun. He had to do it the way we did it. But I've seen Oklahoma run it a couple times, West Virginia, South Alabama. There's plenty of colleges that you start to learn that you can watch them, find good trick plays. I think Detroit ran it as well in a game. But so I've seen it a number of times.
Were you on the headset when the play call was going in?
I was, yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
What was your reaction when you heard it?
We were all just kind of holding on, hoping it worked out well, and it did. It was a great call. I think for us, for us, really, if you're not the play caller and you're not on the field executing, you're kind of just a fan that happens to know the play being called. So we know what to look for when we line up. So as we lined up for that play, we're all checking the backside edge. We're checking to see what the coverage is, where the safety is, watching as Nick moves, kind of how the defense reacts. And so you just got more and more excited as it went on. They had a guy that was typically a rush in, standing at the end, which we liked. We anticipate him just flying off the backside edge. And then as Nick moves, you see the safety start creeping, or everybody just kind of stand up and pause. So you start getting more and more excited as it goes, just seeing the defense play it out like we hoped they would.
Was there an extra level of anxiety because it was your play, like as you heard it?
I don't think so. I don't see it as my
Or
play.
not your play, but
Yeah,
the one
right.
that you brought to them.
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a number of plays throughout the years that get brought up, and other people had executed that play, so they kind of gave us little details. Coach Groh had run that play before when he was at Chicago, I believe, so he had extra details to it. So, I found an idea that I thought could fit us, and then we massage the play and make it our own and put the details on it. The details are kind of what make the difference of each play. So.